Hello students, hope you are well and good. We have already started the chapter The Rattrap, and in the previous lecture we have read that how Ironmaster insisted the Peddler to come to his house and Peddler declined the invitation. We have already discussed the questions, and when Ironmaster went away his house and after half an hour his daughter came to the forge. Now we will continue. She entered followed by a valet. Valet is the personal servant, carrying on his arm a big fur coat. He was having a fur coat on his arm. She was not at all pretty. Pretty is the physical beauty. She was not pretty but seemed modest and quite shy. Modest, she was humble, vinamr, polite, and shy. In the forge, everything was just as it had been earlier in the evening. The atmosphere was the same. People were same there in the forge. The master blacksmith and his apprentice still sat on their bench, and iron and charcoal had stretched himself out of the floor. Pardon? चारकोल स्टिल ग्लूड इन द फर्नेस. भट्टी में अभी भी गर्म हो रहा था चारकोल. द स्ट्रेंजर हैड स्ट्रेच्ड हिमसेल्फ आउट ऑन द फ्लोर. द स्ट्रेंजर हेयर, द रैट्रैप सेलर, stretched him. He again lie down on the floor and lay with a pig iron under his head. Pig iron is the raw iron, impure iron. He used as a pillow, and his hat pulled down over his eye, and he put his hat on his eyes. As soon as the young girl caught sight of him, she went up and lifted his hat. As the ironmaster's daughter saw him, she went to him and take out his hat. The man was evidently used to sleeping with one eye open. This peddler was in the habit to sleep with one eye only. He jumped up abruptly. Abruptly means suddenly. As soon as Ironmaster's daughter took the hat, this peddler jumped up and seemed to be quite frightened. He was frightened because he was about to sleep. Then Ironmaster's daughter gave her introduction. She said, "My name is Edla Wilminson," said the young girl. "My father came home and said that you wanted to sleep here in the forge tonight. My father came home and told me that you are old comrade and you wanted to sleep in the forge tonight. And then I asked permission to come and bring you to home to us. Then I took permission from my father, and so that I can take you at our home. I'm so sorry, Captain, that you are having such a hard time." She was feeling sorry that Captain Wonstel Hall going through a very difficult time. She looked at him compassionately. She looked at him very kindly with her heavy eyes, as she was almost sleepy. And then she noticed that the man was afraid. Then she observed the man was feeling afraid. He was frightened. Either he has stolen something or else he has escaped from jail. The fear expression showed that he had escaped. जिससे बच निकला हो जेल से, उसके फेस पर इस तरह से एक्सप्रेशन आ रही थी. She thought and added quickly, "You may be sure, Captain, that you will be allowed to leave us just as freely as you came." Then she made him assure that he is free to live in our house, and whenever he wants to go out or move out of the house, he can go. Only please stay with us over Christmas Eve. She requested, "Just spend time with us only till the Christmas evening. She said this in such a friendly manner that Rattrap Peddler must have felt confidence in her. She was saying in a very polite manner that Rattrap seller felt confidence in her and उसके ऊपर विश्वास होने लगा उसको, and he accepted the fur coat which the valet handed him with a deep bow. Deep bow, झुक कर. The Rattrap seller was ready to go to the manor house and he accepted the coat. Threw it over his rags. उसके rags means torn cloths. फटे पुराने कपड़ों के ऊपर सर्वेंट पहना देता है. And followed the young lady out to the carriage. And he started moving with the young lady without granting the astonished blacksmith so much as a glance. Without looking at blacksmith, who was so much astonished, she was surprised why the honors family giving too much respect to this person. But while he was riding up to the manor house is a big house, city house, where the honor can live, he had evil forebodings, bad ideas, strong feeling that unpleasant things are going to happen. So he was, you can say that intuition is to him कि already उसको पहले से ही कि कुछ बुरा होने वाला है, ऐसी feelings आनी start हो गई. Why the devil did I take that fellow's money? Now he was repenting. उसे अफसोस हो रहा है कि मैंने उस फेलो की, क्रॉफ्टर की मनी को क्यों चुराया. He thought, now I'm sitting in the trap and will never get out of it. So evil thinking are in his mind, and he was thinking that now he sat in the trap and he cannot come out of this trap. The next day was Christmas Eve, and when the Ironmaster came into the dining room for breakfast, he probably thought with satisfaction of his old regimental comrade whom he had run across so unexpectedly. Next day was the Christmas day, and Ironmaster came for dinner, and he was very satisfied that he had helped his old friend, regimental friend. तो उसको संतुष्टि सी थी कि जो अनएक्सपेक्टेडली उसको मिला था तो उसकी हेल्प कर रहा है, इसलिए उसको एक अच्छी फीलिंग आ रही थी. First of all, we must see to it that he gets a little flesh on his bones, and then we must see that he gets something else to do than to run around the country selling rat traps. The Ironmaster started talking with his daughter, and he suggested, first we will take care of his health so that he can get a good health. He can get flesh on his bones, थोड़ा सा healthy हो जाए. He said to his daughter, who was busy at the table, जो टेबल पर busy थी अपना breakfast लगाने में. And then we will adjust him in some job so that he can not move here and there for selling rat traps. So he was planning to help more his comrade. It is queer, strange that things have gone downhill. This is very strange thing that things have got worst with him, कि बहुत ही बुरा हुआ उसके साथ. With him as badly as that, said the daughter. Last night I did not think there was anything about him to show that he had once been an educated man. Last night I thought that he was not an educated man. मुझे ऐसा लग ही नहीं रहा था उसकी appearance से. Then Ironmaster replied, "You must have patience, my little girl. My daughter, you must have patience. Dharya rakho," said the father. "As soon as he gets clean and dressed up, you will see something different." जैसे ही वो वेल ड्रेस्ड अप, वेल ग्रूम्ड, अच्छे से कपड़े पहन लेगा, आप कुछ डिफरेंट ही देखेंगे इसमें. लास्ट नाइट ही वॉज नेचुरली एम्बेरस्ड. He was feeling ashamed last night, and tramp manners will fall away from him with the tramp cloth. As soon as he will remove his tramp cloth, his tramp manners will also go away. Just as he said this, the door opened and the stranger entered. As he asked his daughter that his tramp manner will go away, at the same time, the dining room's door opened. Yes, now he was truly clean and well dressed. Now the Rattrap seller was well groomed, well dressed up. The valet had bathed him, cut his hair, and shaved him. Moreover, he was dressed in a good-looking suit of cloth which belonged to the Ironmaster. He had worn the clothes of Ironmaster. Now his hair were cut properly. He had taken bath. He wore a white shirt and starched collar and whole shoes. Complete shoes पहने हुए थे. But although his guest was now so well groomed, Ironmaster's guest was so well dressed, the Ironmaster did not seem pleased. But Ironmaster was now not happy. He looked at him with puckered brow. But now there were wrinkles on his eyes with small folds on his eyebrows, and it was easy to understand that when he had seen the strange fellow in the uncertain reflection from the furnace, he might have made a mistake. Now it was clear to him that he had mistaken, but that now, when he stood there in broad daylight, now in the clear light, it was clear to him, it was clear to our Ironmaster, it was impossible to mistake him for an old acquaintance. Now it was clear that he was not his old regimental friend. He was not known to him. "What does this mean?" he thundered. Ironmaster shouted, "What does this mean?" The stranger made no attempt to dissimulate, to hide real feelings or intention. He did not try to hide his feelings. उसने जरा भी कोशिश नहीं करी चीट करने की. He saw at once that the splendor had come to an end. Now it was clear to him that this grand and impressive beauty came to an end. जो शान शौकत थी वो अब ख़त्म हो रही है. "It is not my fault, sir," he said. The Rattrap seller replied, "Sir, this is not my fault. I never pretended showed to be anything but a poor trader. I have never showed anything except that I am a poor businessman, and I pleaded and begged to be allowed to stay in the forge. I just requested that allow me to stay in the forge just to spend the night. But no harm has been done. Nothing happened wrong. At worst, I can put on my rags again and go away. The worst thing is that again I will wear my torn clothes and move away from this here." "Well," said the Ironmaster, hesitating a little, "it was not quite honest either. You must admit that, and I should not be surprised if the sheriff would like to have something to say in the matter." But Ironmaster said that it is not honest. You must accept that it is your fault, and I should not be surprised if the sheriff is the police, if the police came into this matter. The tramp took a step forward and struck the table with his folded hand. The tramp came near the table and struck his fist. मुट्ठी बनाकर टेबल पर उसने जोर से मारा. Now I am going to tell you, Mr. Ironmaster, how things are. He started explaining his own point of view. He said, this whole world is nothing but a big rat trap. Dear student, this is the theme of the chapter. You must learn it. So the whole world is like, or you can say this, the word is compared here with rat trap. This is the metaphor in this chapter. The whole world is nothing but a big rat trap. All the good things that are offered to you are nothing but cheese rinds and bits of pork. So all the good things which are with you, they are nothing except like a cheese, pieces of cheese or pieces of meat set out to drag a poor fellow into trouble. You set these things just to catch the poor person in the trap. And if the sheriff comes now and locks me up for this, then you, Mr. Ironmaster, must remember that a day may come when you yourself may want to get a big piece of pork. So, if the police came here and they put me in the lockup, in the jail, then one day there must be your turn will come when you will be you are ready to get for the big piece of pork or bait, and then you will get caught in the trap. Then you will be caught. The next will be your turn. You will be caught in the trap. The Ironmaster began to laugh. That was not so badly said. He started laughing and he said that, you have nicely said these words. My good fellow, perhaps you should let the sheriff alone on the Christmas Eve. Okay, we will leave him alone. We will allow police to celebrate Christmas. But now get out of here as fast as you can. Now move out of here as fast as you can. Leave our house. But just then the man was opening the door. As the Rattrap seller was about to open the door, दरवाज़ा खुलने ही वाला था, the daughter said, I think he ought to stay with us today. In my opinion, he should spend today with us. I do not want to go. I do not want that he should leave this house. And with that, she went and closed the door. And she went near the Rattrap seller and closed the door. What is the word are you doing? Said the father. Father said that, what you are doing? The daughter stood there quite embarrassed. She was feeling ashamed and hardly knew what to answer. She did not know what to answer. That morning she had felt so happy when she thought how homelike and Christmassy she was going to make things for the poor hungry rich. That in the morning she was feeling happy that there was the atmosphere of festivity in her house and in her home, and she was making things for that hungry person. She could not get away from the idea all at once, and that was why she had interceded for the vagabond. Now she cannot get out of this idea from her mind that without eating the things he will move away from their house. That's why she had intervened. She In between, she disturbed the idea, or she requested to stay the vagabond, the Rattrap seller, there. "I am thinking of this stranger here," said the young girl. "He walks and walks the whole year long, and there is probably not a single place in the whole country where he is welcome. I am thinking about this person, that nobody welcome him in the whole year. He was moving here and there. Always he is afraid of being arrested and cross-examined. Always he is afraid that he will be questioned, cross-examined, he will be questioned. I should like to have him enjoy a day of peace with us here, just one in the whole year. I just want that he can spend one day with us in a peace." The Ironmaster mumbled something. He was speaking in his mouth, that it was not clear, spoke slowly in unclear voice. He could not bring himself to oppose her. He could not cross his daughter. "It was all a mistake, of course," she continued, "but anyway, I do not think we ought to chase away a human being whom we have asked to come here." So, indeed, it was mistake, but because we have requested him to come to our house, so we cannot push him out of the house. Whom we have promised Christmas cheer, whom we have promised Christmas happiness, whom we have given a dream that he will celebrate Christmas with happiness. "You do preach worse than a parson." Parson, priest. Preach, to tell people about religion. Updesh dena. Ironmaster said to her daughter, Ironmaster said his daughter, that you gave religious lecture worse than priest. आप पादरी से भी बुरा उपदेश देती हैं. I only hope you will not have to regret this. I hope that कि आपको अफसोस नहीं करना पड़ेगा. Regret, feeling sorry for that. The young girl took the stranger by the hand and led him up to the table. She took the person's hand and helped him to sit on the table. "Now sit down and eat," she said, for she could see that her father had given in. Given in, that means her father is ready to accept her idea, so he will say nothing. The man with the rat traps said not a word. He only sat down and helped himself to the food. He started eating the food without speaking anything. Time after time, he looked at the young girl who had interceded for him. After few seconds or minutes, he again and again looked at Ironmaster's daughter, and he was thinking why she supported him. Why had she done it? Why she asked or insisted to stay here? What could be the crazy idea be? What is the idea behind this? After that, Christmas Eve at Ramstow passed, just as it always had. This was the routine as they were celebrating the Christmas. In the same way, the festival of the Christmas passed. Just the stranger did not cause any trouble. He created no problem because he did nothing but sleep. He was just sleeping, doing nothing the whole forenoon before 12 o'clock. After the breakfast, before 12, he lay on sofa in one of the guest rooms and slept at one stretch without moving. Only on one side he was just sleeping. At noon, they woke him up so that he could have his share of good Christmas fare. At noon, they have awakened him so that he can take his part of Christmas food. He can enjoy. But after that, he slept again. After taking the good Christmas food, he again slept. It seemed as though for many years he had not been able to sleep as quietly, as safely as here at Ramstow. It seemed that he was not able to sleep comfortably as he was sleeping at Ramstow's house. ऐसा लग रहा था कि आज से पहले इतना कंफर्टेबली वो कहीं भी नहीं सोया था. In the evening, when the Christmas tree was lighted, they woke him up again. In the evening, they decorated the Christmas tree with lights. Again, they woke him up. उन्होंने उसको जाकर उठाया. And he stood for a while in the drawing room. He stood there, blinking as we are decorating our house with lights on Diwali. In the same way, they have decorated their house, blinking as though the candle light hurt him. His eyes were blinking as though the light was creating problem to him. But after that, he disappeared again. Again, he was disappeared. वहाँ से गायब हो गया. 2 hours later, he was aroused once more. After 2 hours, again, they went to wake him. He then had to go down into the dining room. Now he went to the dining room and eat the Christmas fish and porridge. Porridge, dalia. It was their trend to make Christmas. On Christmas, they are making fish and porridge. So he had taken at Rattrap cellar. As soon as they got up from the table, he went around to each one present and said thank you and good night. As he was about to leave after dinner, so everybody exchanged gifts and say thank you and good night to each other. But when he came to the young girl, she gave him to understand that it was her father's intention. When he was near, he was just crossing Ironmaster's daughter, then she made him clear that it was the intention of his father, wish of his father, that the suit which he wore was to be a Christmas present. The suit he had worn, this was his Christmas present. There is no need to return that. He did not have to return it. And if he wanted to spend next Christmas Eve in a place where he could rest in peace and be sure that no evil would befall him, he would be welcomed back again. And she invited on behalf of her father that if he wished on the next Christmas and no evil things, nothing bad happened with him, he can come here and celebrate Christmas with them also. The man with the rat trap did not answer anything to this. He did not respond. He only stared at the young girl in boundless amazement. He was just staring, looking hard. Ghurna, in amazement, surprise. He was too much surprised. He was just looking at the young girl. The next morning, the Ironmaster and his daughter got up in good season, in a good mood. They got up and to go to the early Christmas service. They went for the Christmas service. As we are going to temple, they went to church to pay their services for prayer. Their guest was still asleep. Still their guest, the peddler, was sleeping, and they did not disturb him, so they did not awake him. When at about 10 o'clock they came back from the church, the young girl sat and hung her head even more dejectedly. The young girl was in a very sad mood. She dejected, disappointed, or unhappy. At church, she had learned that one of the old crofters of the ironworks had been robbed by a man who went around selling Rattrap. At church, she came to know that one of the Rattrap sellers robbed, cheated, or had stolen money of ironworks crofter. Crofter is the labor. कि उनका एक लेबर था जो जिसकी चोरी कर ली है एक रेड ट्रैप सेलर ने. यस, दैट वाज अ फाइन फेलो यू लेट इनटू द हाउस. दिस वाज द पर्सन you have allowed in our house, said her father. Father commented her daughter that this is the same person you have allowed to stay in the house, our home. I only wonder how many silver spoons are left in the cupboard by this time. He said that I'm surprised how many spoons were left in our house, because they were not in the house and he was not sure how many things he had stolen up to now. Now the questions. What made the peddler accept Edla Williamson's invitation? Because she invited him compassionately. She showed confidence in him and she asked he is free to move out of the house as he is free to come. That's why the peddler felt confidence in her. He accepted the invitation. What doubts did Edla have about the peddler? She thought that he's not an educated man. He is frightened as if he had escaped from jail, or he's chased by somebody. So these were the doubts. When did the Ironmaster realize his mistake? When in the next morning, in the broad daylight, when he was sitting on the dining table and waiting for the red trap seller. As soon as the red trap seller came, the Ironmaster realized his mistake, that in night's light he had mistaken. Now it was clear that this is not his old comrade. Question 4. Why did the peddler say in his defense? What did the peddler say in his defense when it was clear that he was not the person the Ironmaster had thought he was? The peddler did not say anything in his defense. He did not try to cheat him. Even he said that one day the Ironmaster's turn will also come. He is now trapped, and after that, one day Ironmaster turn will come. Question 5. Why did Edla still entertain the peddler even after she knew the truth about him? Because she felt Christmassy and she was thinking that they will celebrate Christmas with the poor person, and she had made many dishes. So immediately she cannot come, or she cannot accept the idea that he will move away. That's why she entertained him. And moreover, he thinks that they have insisted to come to the home. Now continue the chapter. The wagon had hardly stopped at the front steps, and when the Ironmaster asked the valet whether the stranger was still there, they are just coming from church, and their vehicle in which they went to the church, hardly it was not stopped. And immediately the Ironmaster asked the servant standing on the gate. He said, stranger was there or not? He added that he had heard at church that the man was a thief. Without knowing the answer, Ironmaster said that the person was a thief. The servant answered that the fellow had gone and that he had not taken anything with him at all. The servant answered that the Rattrap seller had gone, but he had not taken anything with him. On the contrary, on the opposite, he had left behind a little package, which Miss Wilminson was to be kind enough to accept as a Christmas present. He had given a present for Miss Wilminson, a Christmas present. इसके विपरीत वो कुछ लेकर नहीं गया, बट वो एक गिफ्ट छोड़ के गया मिस विल्सन के लिए, क्रिसमस गिफ्ट. द यंग गर्ल ओपन द पैकेज. मिस विल्सन ओपन द पैकेज विच वॉज सो बैडली डन अप, so badly packed that the contents came into the view at once. It was not properly packed. The gift immediately came in the view. एकदम दिख गया. She gave a little cry of joy. She became happy. She found a small rat trap. In that package there was a small rat trap, and it was in it lay 3 wrinkled 10 kroner notes. और उसमें क्या पड़ा हुआ था रेड ट्रैप में? 3 wrinkled, crushed 10 kroners note. Kroner, already I have told you the currency. 10 की 3 क्रोनर नोट थे जो क्रश थे, मुड़े तुड़े थे. बट दैट वॉज नॉट ऑल. इन द रैट ट्रैप lay also a letter written in large jagged characters. This was not all. A letter was also there in the rat trap, and it was written in a very rough, pointed handwriting. Big, rough handwriting. Character letters were very big. Honored and noble miss, respected and kind miss, since you have been so nice to me at all day long, as you behaved very nice to me the whole day, as if I was a captain. You have given respect to me as if I was a captain. I want to be nice to you. In return, I want also give you goodness in return, as if I was a real captain. In the same way, as if I am the real captain, I will behave in the same manner. For I do not want you to embarrassed at the Christmas season by a thief. I do not want to make ashame you on this Christmas festival. मैं आपको शर्मिंदा नहीं करूँगा. But you can give back the money to the old man on the roadside, who has the money pouch hanging on the window frame as a bait for the poor wanderers, who hang the money just to trap the poor wanderers. Wanderer, the person who is moving without aim here and there. सिर्फ फंसाने के लिए उसने मनी को एक पाउच में हैंग किया हुआ था. तो आप ये मनी उसको वापस कर दोगे. The rat trap is a Christmas present from a rat. He has compared himself with a rat. तो ये गिफ्ट जो रैट ट्रैप है वो एक चूहे की तरफ से. रैट ट्रैप, rat is that rat trap seller who would have been caught in the words rat trap, who is already caught in the words rat trap, if he had not been raised to captain, because in that way he got power to clear himself. He tried to raise him up to the captain and got power to clear himself. He had learned something from the girl, and he left his badness behind there, written with friendship and high regard. Captain Bonstell. The question here arises, why the rat trap seller wrote Captain Bonstell Hall at the end of the letter? Because Ella Wilminson behaved or respected him, gave respect to him, just like she can behave with Captain Bonstell Hall. In the same way, the rat trap seller tried to raise himself like a Captain Bonstell Hall. जिस तरह से एल्ला विल्मिंसन ने उसको रिस्पेक्ट दी, उसी तरह से उसने भी अपने आप को कैप्टन वॉन्स्टेल हॉल की ऊंचाई तक उठाने की कोशिश की ताकि वो वैसा ही अच्छा बन सके. In return, he had given goodness. He got goodness, and in return, he gave goodness. Now the questions. Now the theme is already proved. We have already read in the introduction that every human being has an essential goodness, and that can be awakened by love and kindness. So it is proved that the person who behave good get in return the goodness. Why was Edla Williamson Edla happy to see the gift left by the peddler? She was happy that the person had not cheated her. Why did the peddler sign himself as Captain Wonstell Hall? We have already discussed this question, that she had accepted. Why did the peddler sign himself? He tried to raise himself up to the Captain Wonstell Hall, or we can say that it was a captain that he had been invited to the manor house, and it was a captain that he had got all the opportunity to come out of the rat trap into which he had been caught. That's why he tried to raise him upself to the कैप्टन मॉन्स्टेल और अपने आप को कैप्टन मॉन्स्टेल हॉल की ऊंचाई तक लाने की कोशिश की. वैसी ही क्वालिटीज़ उसने भी कोशिश की, अच्छाई के बदले में अच्छाई देने की. नाउ अंडरस्टैंडिंग द टेक्स्ट. हाउ डज द पेडलर इंटरप्रेट acts of kindness and hospitality shown by the crofter, the ironmaster, and the daughter? One by one, we will discuss. To crofter, he cheated him. He had not respected crofter's kindness and hospitality. For ironmaster, we can say that he was not also polite, so he gave him a lecture. And he also asked him that one day he will be trapped. But daughter was really kind enough. So in return, he showed goodness to the daughter, Edla Williamson, because she behaved in the whole chapter very nicely with him. That's why in return, he also behaved good. These are the long questions. You have to elaborate up to the length of 200 words, and you have to write in the 3 different paragraphs. Crofter, ironmaster, and daughter. Question 2. What are the instances in the story that show that the character of the ironmaster is different from that of the daughters in many ways? It was clearly shown that ironmaster's daughter is very kind to the person, and she behaved very politely. And from the very beginning, when she went to the forge, she invited very compassionately. And when he came to the dining hall, he was about to leave the house, she interceded for him. And this showed that our master daughter was really kind enough and loving. But Iron Master, when he came to know that the person is not his old comrade, he behaved very rudely, and he was even ready to call the sheriff or police. There was a major difference between daughter and father. So you have to make here the 2 separate paragraphs. Question number 3. The story has many instances of unexpected reactions from the character of others' behavior. Pick out the instances of these surprises. Yes, there are so many unexpected responses, reactions in the character's behavior. First, take when the crofter showed the money and they left the home in the morning. We were not expecting that he will came back and steal his money. So this was unexpected. Second thing, when he had stolen the money, we are not expecting that really he will be trapped in the words rat trap, as he was trapped in the forest, and then he went to the forge, and Next, then when he got shelter in the forge, we are not expecting that Ramsjo Ironworks owner came and will come and invite him to the house. After that, we are not expecting that Ironmaster's daughter will come and take him to the house. And lastly, we are not expecting when the Ironmaster asked him to leave the house, uh, and he was about to ready to go to out of the house. Then that Ironmaster daughter will intercede for him. And the last, we are not expecting that he had not stolen money or things from the house, and we are not expecting that they that he will leave the gift for him. Clear? These are the unexpected reactions from the character's behavior. Now the question 4. What made the peddler finally change his ways? Only love and kindness can create essential goodness in human behavior. That was proven in this story, that all others behaved rudely with him. Only Ella Wilminson behaved very kindly and compassionately, and in return, Peddler behaved just like him, just like her. In goodness, he gave goodness. So his ways were changed. Question 5. How does the metaphor of the rat trap serve to highlight the human predicament? Metaphor is the complex comparison. The word is here compared with rat trap. Human predicament, human problems. So, human being is trapped or attracted by the things, clothing, food, shelter, etc. So, through this theme, absolutely the rat trap seller proved the metaphor that it is the problem of human being to be trapped. Clear? Question number 6. The peddler comes out as a person with a subtle sense of humor. How does this serve in lightening the seriousness of the theme of the story and endear him to us? The peddler comes person with a subtle sense of humor. It was not expected that this peddler will get or good treatment by the Edla Wilminson or Ironmaster's house. So the story started just like in a way that fairy story, just like a fairy story. We are not expecting that he will get good type of behavior from the Edla Wilminson. So the peddler actually was a poor man, and he goes around selling rat traps of wire. His business was not profitable. He begins to think the whole world is a big rat trap. This was just a humor. We are not expecting that in the end it will prove a serious theme. He goes here and there, happy go lucky fellow. In order to escape being caught, he takes his way through a forest. And these things just we are not taking in a we are just taking a sense of humor. Just मजाक ही लग रहा था, but in the end it seemed to us that it has turned into a serious theme. Also, it endears the peddler's or reader's heart. It has taken the reader's total attention. Clear? So, in the beginning, it has started just as humor, but in the end, it has turned into a seriousness. Clear? Okay, we will discuss the remaining question in the next lecture. Thank you.